Welcome back to the show where we run you through all the Dolphins news you need to know about. After we do the news you need to know about, we run through the fan Q&A where we answer fans' questions. This first news story comes from Pro Football Rumors. Dolphins place Savon Ahmed on IR with a season-ending foot injury. Obviously, he did it against the Las Vegas Raiders, which is a big hit to the team because he does provide a skill set that they really don't have outside of A-Chain. It's like a pass catcher. I really, a perfect example is the third down screen, which was a beautiful call, caught the Raiders in a blitz. I don't know if Raheem and the other guys, that play gets called, or Jeff Wilson, not the other guys. If it's just Raheem and Jeff on the roster, I don't know if a play like that would have been called. So hopefully A-Chain doesn't get injured. And there's really not a running back in free agency that they could get. Chris Brooks, we haven't really heard much from him since the injury. I think he hurt his neck, if I'm not mistaken. That was against the Giants, who would have been would have been awesome to see, what he would look like in this offense now, because he does bring that physicality that we need. Sometimes we need, especially in some of these short yardage situations, which we've been kind of fumbling the bag on quite frequently. It would be nice to have someone like Chris Brooks on the roster. But yeah, the Dolphins are even more thin at running back now. Michael Carter went back to the Jets, which is unfortunate. It would have been a nice addition to the team. Would have definitely helped with, some of the pass game stuff. Has the athletic ability to run some of the outside runs that we do. And, so hopefully they can stay relatively healthy down the stretch with A-Chain. And he doesn't re-aggravate his knee or anything like that. Because we need him down the stretch, especially now that Ahmed's injured. And there's really no one on the street that they can get, unfortunately. Hopefully Jeff Wilson can kind of step up. He just, and some of the biggest plays that he's made as a Dolphin, has been in the pass game. So hopefully he can kind of recapture that. We just haven't really seen it from him, and I hate to say that, but it's true. Like, he hasn't looked good, and hopefully he can kind of get it going. He hasn't had a ton of touches this season. When he's had them, like I said, hasn't looked great. So hopefully A-Chain can come back soon, and hopefully against the Jets. Which leads us to our next news story. Our next news story comes from tons of sources, tons of from beat writers. I don't know, my brain just shut down. This is regarding Devon A-Chain's injury. Mike B. Daniels said Dolphins running back Devon A-Chain is feeling better, and his re-aggravated knee injury will not require surgery. He's considered day-to-day and is not a lock either way to play in or sit out a Friday's game against the New York Jets. Let me say that again. He's not a lock either way to play in or sit out a Friday's game against the Jets. Now, granted, guys, you remember in the Raiders game, he was a healthy scratch. He never had to leave the stadium or sit in the locker room the entire game. I can't remember who said it. I just remember during the broadcast, I think it was the sideline reporter said he was a healthy scratch, which is a good thing. It didn't seem like it was that bad of a situation. He did have to go into the tent and everything, but one of the reasons why the offense has been a little bit less potent in recent weeks is because the run game has kind of teetered off, and that has to do with the injuries to the interior of the line, and the injuries to the running back room. I mean, Mostert has had to kind of carry a ton of the load because, like I said, it's just like the guys underneath of them are there's such a significant drop off, talent wise. There really is, and it's like the physical ability that the other two have compared to Ahmed or Jeff Wilson is just like it's ballparks apart, and so that has had a little bit of an impact on the offense, which leads us to our next news story. This comes from Dolphins Twitter as well. Dolphins right guard Robert Hunt, progressing through hamstring injury, will try to give it a go at sorry, there's something in my throat. We'll try to give it a go at teams Wednesday practice before Jets on Friday. Sorry, guys. Good God. I'm being taken over by this cough. Excuse me. But yeah, Robert Hunt, huge, very important to the team. He's also his absence has also kind of contributed to the run game. Not kind of, it's had a huge impact. The fact that the run game, we just can't move people like we could before. And Armstead and Austin are still run blocking at a high level. Connor Williams is as well. But since they've kind of, we've kind of had musical chairs, especially on the offensive line, throughout like kind of the middle of the year, it's impacted the run game. And hopefully we can get him back against the Jets, because obviously they have a good front seven, and getting an All-Pro or Pro Bowl caliber guard, he might actually make an All-Pro in his career. I think he's one of the highest graded guards this year. But getting him back is a big deal, and especially when we're playing a team with good interior pass rushers. The Raiders really didn't have that, so it never really became an issue. But obviously against the Chiefs, Chris Jones, teams that have good pass rushers on the interior, Robert Hunt and Connor Williams, when they're in the lineup, kind of nullifies that. And again, it opens things up in the playbook. So again, it says that, he's progressing. We'll try to give it a go on Wednesday. Hopefully he can play Friday. I think we all hope he can play Friday. I think that's it for the news. Obviously, we got to talk about, there was a huge cut over the last, I think, what was it, yesterday? I think it was Tuesday. The Indianapolis Colts let go of Darius Leonard, and obviously now Shaquille Leonard. Obviously, a phenomenal player. The thing is, yes, it would be a great signing for the Dolphins. It would be a pretty seamless transition. He's played in a similar scheme to this, so he wouldn't have to learn much, which is good. He's obviously coming off a back injury. He was a healthy scratch a few times this season. So you got to really take that into consideration as well. The linebackers, I thought, in my opinion, have played every week, especially since the Eagles game, have played so much better. I thought that was kind of when they kind of hit their stride in the Eagles game, and ever since then they've played seamless football, way tighter in coverage, and I think really kind of found their groove. And I think Vic has found his groove with where to put him in the defense. So don't really want to mess that up. But getting a player like that, and he was another player that I love, who's not a Dolphin. I think we all enjoyed watching him play. He played with such a different type of a style, and he was a turnover machine. So it's definitely something to look into. It would be a great signing for the Dolphins. Again, fits the scheme. Definitely have been keeping up with that news for sure. But yeah, it would be a great fit for the team. I don't know if I mentioned this already. I think I probably did. Michael Carter returned to the Jets, because that would be a great replacement for Ahmed. But unfortunately, he obviously is returned to the Jets. I think he was signed with their practice squad or something. I don't remember. Yeah, he's no longer no longer available. I'm over here fumbling the words. Recorded an entire one of these, everybody. Pressed the wrong thing. Deleted the entire thing. So I'm over here having to re-record it. But we're here. We're trying to get through it. Now the throat's wanting to give out. But, what do we... I think we covered all the news. We covered Michael Carter, Robert Hunt. 50-50 shot, he's in the game. Devon A-Chain. If we can get them both back for the Jets game, that's perfect. Hopefully we can. But that brings us to the game itself that we just had at Hard Rock Stadium. I think we've covered all the news. Oh yeah, Jalen Ramsey seems to be fine. I'm thinking of, obviously Tyreek Hill at hand. He's totally fine. Seems like everybody's fine, other than the two that we've talked about. And it sucks Ahmed got hurt. Because that does leave a hole on the offense. And again, we need to hear more from Chris Brooks. He probably isn't coming back this year. I don't even remember what happened to him. I think it was Ezukama who had the neck issue. It wasn't Chris Brooks. I don't remember what. I think Chris is out for the season. I don't know if it was a shoulder or whatever it was. I can't remember whatever happened to him against the Giants. Because that would be awesome to get him back in this game. To really give him some touches. And he was trending in that direction too. So yeah, let's get into the game. Obviously, Dolphins defeat Raiders 20-13 at home, continuing their undefeated home streak, and have had a great record under Mike McDaniel since he became the head coach at home. And really recapturing what the Dolphins used to have at home. They had a phenomenal home field advantage. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the thing. Back in the day. I think everybody, if you're an older Dolphins fan, you know that. But I mean, from the 70s to early 70s, really, up until the 90s, their home record was insanely good. And it's one of the better home field. I think they even made the top 10 home field advantages in NFL history. They used to do those NFL top 10. So it's nice to recapture that under Mike McDaniel. The defense, I think we have to start there. Has looked great. You know, it's been a blessing that Vic is really showing you why he's regarded and is held in such a high regard, and why everybody copies his scheme. Because he's a phenomenal game planner. He's a great coach. And I think that's the most important thing that you really have noticed, for like a drastic, and I mean drastic. If you watch the film and you watch the games, I hate saying film. If you've watched the games, and I'm sure everybody who's listening to this, the few people that has watched the games. So I don't know why I'm saying that. But yeah, if you've seen all of these games, it's a different unit. It's not the same team. It's not the same defense. Now, obviously, getting the pieces back has been a big deal. But there are players on the team, on the defense, that have been here since preseason that are playing much better than they were at the beginning of the season. And I think Vic has gotten much more comfortable with the defense as well. But that's great coaching. That's just great coaching. I mean, this is what made Bill Belichick so great and the Patriots so great for so long, is they were a different team in November and December than they were in September and October. And this defense is completely different. And again, it's not just the personnel. It really is the coaching. He's improved a lot of players on this team. He's got a lot of them playing good football right now. And again, that's why Vic Fangio is Vic Fangio. And I think a lot of people, Dolphins fans, are a little too impatient with that. We're like, oh, where is it? I wasn't one of those people, but it's just, I mean, you can think about in this game. I was thinking about this earlier. The amount of fourth downs that I don't think they converted a fourth down in this game, the Raiders. But I was like, Josh Boyer would literally just send a zero, like every fourth down. It's the same thing, same coverage, same look. Same everything. And that killed us last year in a lot of big moments. And then in this game, Vic is just got a great feel of the moment, what they're kind of looking for. And just go back and look at those fourth downs. It's beautiful. It's a thing and even against the Chargers is another great example of that. He's just a great coordinator. And has the unit just looks so much better than it did before. Jalen Ramsey, one of my favorite Dolphins on the team. One of my favorite players in the league, even before he got here. And it's just a joy to watch him in a Dolphins uniform and dominate a game like he did. That interception, the first one, just completely changed the game. Changed the momentum of the game. And he just changes what the outlook of the defense in a lot of different ways because of his presence on the field and his play. But yeah, shout out to Vic. The Dolphins front continues to be one of the best four-man rushes in the NFL, and that showed in this game. think how many sacks did we have in this game? Obviously, Jalen had 2. Christian had 1. I think no, they didn't call it. They did not call that an interception. This was only Jalen who had a sack. It's kind of unfortunate, but Christian Wilkins was all over the field. He continues to have a career year as well. The defense is really special, guys. Like, it really is. And I know everybody's concerned about the which leads us to the offense. But again, off turnovers, the defense rose to the occasion. It's just a completely different unit than it was before. One of the best units in the league now. It really is. There was a moment in this game where I was like, they're not. I was like, they can't move. And I haven't had that thought as a Dolphins fan in a long time. Where I was like, they just can't move. Is there anything else I wanted to say about the defense? I mean, just the amount of, like, by the way, X is playing really good football right now too. But yeah, Jalen, I mean, even like the flea flicker play was just insane. Bradley Chubb on the 3rd and 4 tackle. I mean, everybody is just elevating, has just gotten better under Vic. Like, everybody has gotten better under Vic. So let's go to the offensive side of the football. Now, granted, we should have won this game at least by 2 touchdowns. But the Dolphins continue to kind of play sloppy football offensively. 2 of the fumbles were both converted for first downs, Julian Hill and Tua. The interception was what it was. I don't really care. It was a deep throw down the field. He probably didn't see the safety there. I don't really know. But that doesn't really bother me. It's the fumbles and just the dumb stuff that this team does. The 4th and 1. Don't know why we're throwing a screen in that situation. The Dolphins continue to struggle in short yardage situations. Ever since Mike McDaniel got here, I can pinpoint 15,000 different plays. Not that many. But, there's like 5 plays that come to mind in short yardage where it's like, you just wish we were a little bit better in those situations. We just got to stop being so greedy. Sometimes just running it up the gut is the move. Like, that's, let's not try to outthink everybody all the time. But just hand the ball off on 3rd and 1, and or 4th and 1, excuse me. And yeah, so I think it's just sloppy play, really. It's, one thing that I will say that is like a physical or a personnel issue, is the run game isn't as good as it was at the beginning of the season. I think everybody can see that. Everybody sees that. I mean, Raheem Mostert had 22 carries for 86 yards in this game. If Hunt was in the game, maybe that gets bumped up to 100, 120 yards. But again, that really wouldn't matter because they still had dumb fumbles in this game. And again, the Chiefs game's another great example of this. Just stupid plays that they made. I mean, the fumble before halftime, the both back-to-back plays that I don't even want to think about or relive. The bad throw and then the bad snap. It's stuff like that. It's like, and the sad part is these are, some of these could have been positive plays. Even in the Raiders game, those were positive plays. The Chiefs game had somebody wide open for a touchdown. The bad snap, if you guys go back and look at that, I have no idea why Kansas City did that. So many teams, I mean, you can go back to the Lions game or the Ravens game. So many teams have called that defense. Same zero-man look, very common in the NFL. Brian Flores really made that look popular. And dude, Tyreek Hill was wide open on that play. So, Tyreek Hill had a bad game in that game. He was very uncharacteristic. So, they're really just playing. They can play better than they are, which is the good thing. And hopefully they start kind of putting it back together a little bit. The run game should get better. If Hunt can come back in this game, if A-Chain is healthy, that'll be the healthiest the interior has been in a long time. That really will get the offense going again. The pass game is still great. Tua had 325 yards and had 2 drives taken away that who knows what would have happened on them. It wasn't like it was a I mean, these were first down conversions. So, it's not something that I would say is a issue. Like other Dolphins teams in the past, like I can bring up, obviously the Gaskin years, and like there are limitations to those teams. They're just not very good offensively for whatever for the multitude of reasons that those teams weren't good offensively. This really is just sloppy football, and the injuries to the run game, it has affected the team. And it's brought down the production on the run game, and hopefully that can get better. But the pass game is still so good that it's it can still win a game easily. So they'll play better, and the Tua stuff is weird. I don't really understand what. It's not his like the man had 300 yards. I thought he played really good in this game. He was under pressure. Max Crosby had a really good game in this game. Probably one of the worst games Austin Jackson has had. It's not his fault. Max Crosby's like the best. I mean, his pass rush numbers. It's him and a few other people. So I don't know. I don't think that it has nothing to do with them. They just got to be a little bit more balanced, and especially when it comes to playing road football. You don't really want to be one-dimensional, especially late in the year. So hopefully those guys can come back, and we can see a Dolphins, because we haven't seen that in a while. Even against the Giants, there was a couple bad plays in that game. They haven't really put a whole game together. The offense has it, and they still look good. But they just have to play. I think we all want them to put together a game. It's like, okay, they played a great game. And they haven't done that in a while, so hopefully that this week is that game. But it's not incompetence. Like, I feel like they're getting it's a little bit. Any time in this fan base anything happens, I swear to God, it's like it's DEFCON 4. I mean, the defense is a great example of that. But I don't think it's a consistent trend that anybody has to worry about. They can play better than they have, and I'm sure that they will. And one thing I will say, the short yardage stuff, obviously we've got to get healthier, the interior line. I would like to see more game plan stuff for Waddle. And obviously he's been hurt, and he's been in and out of the lineup in some of these games. Even the Chiefs game's a great example. But when Hill left this game, Waddle took over. He was really heating up. So I would like to see a little bit more stuff for Waddle. We should start to see more River Craycraft going forward. He didn't get a ton of snaps in this game. Seems like they were kind of slowly bringing him along. But he's definitely, a chain mover. And with Barrios banged up, we need kind of that presence out there. So, yeah, I don't think it's anything to worry about offensively. And hopefully Hunt can come back in this game. And we can kind of really, get the run game going again. And, but the team is trending in the right direction. It's a really good team. Not all of us, but I don't know how everybody feels is basically what I'm saying. But blessed to watch this team for sure. Out of all the bad teams that we've had to endure, it's nice to have 2 good seasons back to back of good football. And obviously last year, it was up and down because of the injuries, but I mean, Tua in the team is looking great. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody's gonna kill some Thanksgiving dinner or food, and dinner, whatever you call it. And can't wait to talk to you guys next week. Team's headed in the right direction. Mike McDaniel continues to be a great play caller. His game plans are always good, which is good. And him and Vic should be a great tandem together for many years to come. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.